Hello everybody, my name is Charles and you are watching My Epic Tales. Today I'm going to start a walkthrough of Kingdom Come Deliverance, a historically accurate RPG that I've been waiting years for.
Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins.
Yes, so watching that cutscene, our villain is Sigismund. Charles IV, who was this great ruler for several years, dies, and his son isn't necessarily weak, but he likes to party. He's kind of a ladies' man. The cool thing about this is these are characters from history. So if you want to read about them, you Google it. I went on online to Encyclopedia Britannica and read about the location and the time period and read about the different characters. So I'll be giving you guys little facts and tidbits as we go along in the story. We are playing as Henry, a lazy drunkard who is wanting to go out and adventure and see the world, but his parents are very, very adamant that he stay home and learn his father's trade, which is blacksmithing. Let's get to it. I'd also like to take the time to thank all the new subscribers. I think I've got about 100 in the last month or two, and I wanted to welcome you guys to the channel and thank you for subscribing. If you're new, consider subscribing. I do a lot of different things on the channel, everything from music to crime to games, trailers. I do a lot of different things, and I've got some things planned now that I'm learning Photoshop and some new editing software. I've got some really cool things planned for the channel. And this right here, you can read it if you want. It's just basically reiterating everything we just listened to in the cutscene. This is an area with silver mines, so naturally people are trying to usurp power. Anywhere there's silver and gold, people are fighting over it, right? And it's obviously a gorgeous, beautiful game. It's like Skyrim plus, you know? Witcher 3 plus. Skalitz, 1403. The year of our Lord, 1403. I thought that was a really cool entry, and you actually get to see the silver mines, I believe, here in a second. Yep, there he goes into the mine. That would have been, you talk about working your fingers to the bone, this would have been grueling labor. And imagine seeing all this silver, you know, of course it's not worth anything till it's smelted and purified and all that stuff out of the rock, but this is, oh, I forget his name, Sir Radzig, I think? He's somewhat of an important character. Of course, I don't know the whole story. I've only played the beginning. Game gets off to kind of a slow start, but then just begins with a bang. And the story in the tutorial plays a huge role in the story as a whole. So you definitely want to listen through the tutorial, even though it starts out kind of slow.
Well, husband, how goes it?
Good. I should get it finished today. Where on earth is Henry? I need him to run some errands.
He was still sleeping when I went out.
At this hour? Blue-blooded idler.
The blue-blooded
Wow.
idler.
It looks like he was out all evening, drinking like a lord.
Go and get the lazy bones up.
Oh!
Then.
Little
Quick clout
booty
round the
pat.
ear should do it.
You can see that Henry's parents are very flirtatious and in love, and they're very concerned about their son, who's being somewhat passive in his life, just kind of laying around and drinking and...
Henry! Get up now. There's work to be done.
I'm hungover, Mom.
Mother. Get up or I'll come get
Imagine
you.
that bench being your bed.
Hear that?
The Middle
Better
Ages
not
were
vex
not
him.
a fun time to
Now
live
get
in.
up quick.
Average
Breakfast is on
lifespan
the
for a
table.
woman was about 31, and for
Wait,
or
what's
for
this?
a woman about 35, and for a
Have
man
you
about
been-
32.
Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you? You'd better pray your father doesn't get to hear of it. You know how he feels about it.
Oh, don't worry, it
So
wasn't
we
that.
kind of find out that his father
I just scratched
is
myself. is all.
not too keen on him learning how to
Well,
fight
Just
or
don't
use a
come crying to
sword,
me if you really do get
even
hurt.
though his father's a blacksmith
Now
and makes
get
swords.
up, you rogue.
And Henry is an only child, so they're naturally, all their concern is going toward him and what he's doing with his life. His mom looks so young because, I mean, my God, if you're only
fine
expected
state you're
to,
in this morning. What on earth did you get up to
you're only
last
expected
night?
to live like 30-something years, you're going to have children pretty young, right? You can see your dialogue is connected to upgrading certain perks. I'm going to go for agility. I was out dancing.
I went dancing
Dancing?
with Bianca.
Ah, that's why you're tired. But you'll still have to work today. Well, I've got a feeling there's something you're not telling me. And it's connected with that scratch on your hand. And that suspicious-looking character with a sword who turned up in town recently.
So we know that there's a stranger amongst the town residents. Why would I be interested in sword fighting? Let's just play dumb.
You think he's teaching me sword fighting, don't you? What use would that be to me? Here. I'm not lying to you, Ma.
All right, then, if you say so. I don't mean to pry.
Most
But you
mothers
know
are
your
not
father
so
takes
gullible.
a dim view of such things.
Let's do a little sucking up since we just lied to Mom.
Do you need me to do anything, Ma?
Ah, you're a good lad. But I'm fine. It's your father needs helping with that sword.
Okay, well, let's get at it then if Dad needs help with the sword. And we do find out more about Dad and a little about his past rather soon in the tutorial. And so it's sort of, you don't really find out exactly what Dad did or what his life was all about before we were around, but you get the feeling that he was a sword fighter himself. And that because of that, it has shaped his life and made him very reluctant to allow his only son to become a sword fighter. You'll get all that.
Come here, I need... At least you're up, that's a start. Anyway, we've a lot of work to do today. I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzig, and I need your help.
With what?
I'm running out of charcoal. Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal burner.
I'll need some money then.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Kunesh still owes me for an axe, a hammer, and the nails I sold him a month ago. Not to mention his debt from before. Go and tell him to pay up, at least for the axe and hammer, and then use the money to buy the charcoal.
Kunesh? That drunkard? That'll be fun.
Well, you're a big lad now. I'm sure you can manage. If not, tell him that next time I'll come myself and personally use that hammer to bang those nails into his arse.
Sure, I'll be happy to
Bang
hear it.
his nails into his arse.
Is that all?
Not quite. The Chamberlain at the castle has the crossguard for Sir Radzig's sword, which I had engraved.
Sir
in
Radzig,
sapphire.
yes. He was
You
the
want me
one
to
in
go and
armor
pick it up?
on horseback.
All right. Money, charcoal,
Crossguard. Got it.
Got it.
And ale. Stop off at the tavern on
Don't
your way
forget my
home.
booze, boy.
I know you'll be going there anyway to see that girl of yours. But make sure the ale's still cool from the cellar when you get back.
Her name is Bianca.
Right, so make sure Bianca draws me a nice cool one. Run along now, work won't wait.
So we can decipher a few things out of this dialogue. One, Mom seems to not mind Bianca. She had nothing bad to say about Bianca. Dad seemed to not really care for her. Dad likes his ale and he wants it cool, and it's letting you know, make that the last thing you do, the last errand you run, because if you bring it back warm, he'll send you for more. And you just save yourself time by making it the last thing you get and bring it immediately to him. Right here, the castle. We live right outside the castle. This is the village down there of Silver Skalitz, and we're coming here to get the cross hilt, the cross sword.
God
It's
be with
actually
you.
really neat. They actually
I'm
kind
with
of
you,
put the
Henry.
sword together. I always wondered how they were
How are
assembled,
you?
and I found out from this video.
Father sent me.
From
We're
this
forging
game.
a sword for Sir Radzig, and the Chamberlain has the crossguard and grip. Father had them engraved in Sasau.
Right. They're here. The Chamberlain gave them to us for you. We looked them over. Beautiful work. I've never seen anything so fine.
I can't wait to see the sword.
So his dad
Just make
sent
sure you don't
these
botch
off
it.
to a
ever
specialist
botch
for
anything?
engraving.
Where shall I start?
Ah, shut up and give me what I want, or I'll kick your ass this evening.
Right away, your
So-
lordship.
and you can tell that Henry's kind of known as a lazy screw-up around town.
Magnificent. Shame I can't keep the sword for myself. Well, I better go if we're to get the job done by this evening.
Godspeed. See you later in the tavern.
You certainly will. After today's work, the ale might even be on me.
After today's work,
I'll have
the
to
ale
get
might
something
even
to
be
eat.
on me.
I'm starting to get hungry.
Okay, so he's hungry. Let's go ahead, get in your inventory. And I can relate to Henry. I remember when I was younger, I went through a phase where all I cared about was booze and girls. And that's sort of that college age phase that Henry's going to, minus the college. So first thing you want to do, we have to get money from Kanush. And I find it interesting that Papa doesn't want us learning how to fight.
Well, well. And now I see you, I hope it will go even better. Are you here to
Are you here to buy? He's like, yeah. He's obviously the merchant. Kanush is the town drunkard, and he's kind of a jerk. And even though our dad doesn't want us to learn how to fight, he still wants us to go collect money from this guy. So I will warn you that your character is weak. This guy's pretty tough. Unless you talk to him and then send your father back later, he's going to want to fight you. And even though he's beatable, I'd beat him. It's not exactly that hard. It's like a long, drawn-out fight, like 5-10 minutes. You're fist fighting with this guy. So I wanted to get the game started. I promise I'm going to upload the second video back to back so you guys can keep watching and we can get this thing started. It starts out slow, but then there's this huge bang and it gets going. So go ahead and subscribe, and I'll be back with episode 2 in just a moment. Bye bye.